I said, oh, I'm not your type. I'm too feminine for you. You like hard, masculine boys to climb your back. So, the time I found out that my DL coworker slept with one of my best friends. So first I want to tell you how I met the DL coworker. First, we originally met at the interview for the job. So the job had open interviews. We met, we just kind of said, what's up? He came out the interview first, told me he got the job. I was like, cool. My job was like 21 at the time, so I was very young. I was still kind of in my masculine gay male stage. I wasn't in the beautiful stage that I am now, where I'm very much noticeably gay. Well, I was noticeably gay at the time. I was openly gay, but I wasn't as, what I would say, maybe kind of flamboyant as I am now. So I still presented as a masculine male. So, like a month and a half later, because they kept postponing the training, we started training. We're in the training class together. We're cool. It's about 7 or 8 other people, so it's a decent training class. We're all training. We're getting along. As you know, with black people, we always start to kind of get into each other's business in the training class, just kind of being nosy. We were all pretty young. So him and some of the other guys would talk about women, but of course I wasn't talking about women because I wasn't dating women. And at the time, I was actually dating a guy. I was dating a biracial guy who was what I believe to be openly bisexual, but now he's married to a woman, and I think that's another story time I'll tell as well. But anyways, but they never asked me any questions about like who I was dating and my sexuality. So that's how I knew they all knew I was gay, but we just didn't talk about it. Anyways, one day we're on our lunch break, and the biracial guy that I was dating at the time came to see me. So he came to see me, took me to lunch, and we came back and sat in front of the job. So we're sitting in front of the job while I'm eating my lunch or whatever. And the DL coworker walks past. So he walks past, and he's looking all up in the car, looking at me, looking at the guy I'm dating. And we're both just looking at him like, okay, like what you looking at? And I already kind of felt like the DL coworker had a little bit of a crush on me, just the way he would interact with me. But hey, he presented himself as a straight man. He would talk to me about women and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I finish eating lunch, give him a little boo. I'm dating at the time, a kiss. He leaves. I go back into the building. Would y'all believe the DL coworker started an argument with me? Not even an hour later, like an argument in the training class where he got super mad and was like flipping out. And I was like, what is wrong with this boy? Like, we've always been cool. So I let him have his temper tantrum moment, not putting two and two together that obviously he felt some type of way about seeing me in the car with the guy I was dating. So I let him have this temper tantrum moment and just moved on about it. So then the next day he comes back to the training class like everything's normal. I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. So moving along, we're out of training. We all exchanged numbers in the training class. So now we're out of training. I am working a different shift than him, but we still see each other. We still communicate. He has my number. So I remember one night, after work, he called me complaining about some girl he was talking to, and he was telling me about what they were going through and just kind of crazy stuff. And I'm just like, okay, sir, whatever. So I'm still trying to be a homeboy, still trying to be that boy. I remember telling y'all that I ended up transferring schools. So I ended up transferring on campus in a different city. So I ended up leaving that job and transferring on campus. So we still kept in contact. He would hit me up, check on me, see how I'm doing on campus, making sure that I was doing my work and stuff. He was like 4 or 5 years older than me, so at some point he was calling me his little bro, right? Which I thought was weird because I felt like I knew we had an attraction to each other, but I just went with it. So one day he started texting me. He was basically telling me how there was something that he always wanted to kind of talk to me about, and he didn't feel comfortable about it, and now he wants to have the conversation. And I was like, whatever. And he was like, oh, I'm going to call you and talk to you about it because I don't want to text about it. And I'm at work at the time. So I'm like, okay, dude, call me when I get off. And he never called me. So he never brought it up again. So from that point, he got very distant. Like, now we were only communicating every blue moon, like on Snapchat. Because we still had each other on Snapchat. We had each other on Facebook. He had my number and all that. So, I'm moving along with my gay life. So let's fast forward to 2 years later. I see him on Facebook on a cruise with his girlfriend. So he's in a relationship with a woman. She's a beautiful girl. And they're doing their thing. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy was never gay, you know? I don't know what it was. Maybe he had to talk to me about something different. Because, I mean, he never hit on me. But I just always felt like the vibe. Like, he was attracted to me. I was attracted to him. I felt like we definitely flirted. But it could have just been me, you know? So he's in a relationship with a woman. They were on a cruise. They look lovely. Everything looks nice. So, my best friend calls me. We're talking on the phone. I'm living in North Carolina at this point, so I'm living in a whole different state. And my best friend is from, close to my hometown, so, we would know similar people. But he's telling me how, he went to my hometown for the weekend. He had a little hookup with this guy. And he told me the guy's name. And I was like, who? And he told me the guy's name again. I was like, oh, girl, you got to show me a picture of him because this sounds like somebody that I know. He shows me the picture. It was my DL coworker. Mind you, I told you the last time I saw the DL coworker on the timeline on Facebook, he had just came back from a cruise with his girlfriend. I'm in shock. I was like, boy, you lying. You did not have sex with so-and-so. He was like, oh, yeah, I do. And he showed me text message. He was like, he's still hitting me up now. I'm like, da-da-da-da. And he was like, and he bottomed for me. Like, he was my bottom. I was like, you're telling me my DL coworker who I was flirting with and was attracted to bottom for you? Like, no. So I'm like, where did y'all meet? They met on Jacked, on the gay app. So I am just appalled because I'm like, this heterosexual presenting ass Negro carried on around me all this time. And you done went from that all the way to a DL boy on Jacked? I was in shock. And I was kind of disappointed because I was like, I was supposed to smash him first. But obviously, he wanted something different. Then, of course, like I said, I'm in my more feminine presenting phase now. So I'm not a masculine presenting man anymore. And my best friend is a very masculine boy. So I'm like, oh, so you like masculine boys. You like boys harder than you to climb your back. So ever since then, I still haven't spoken to him, the DL coworker, and like, yeah, he'll watch my snap every now and then, but we haven't spoken. But I'm like, when we do speak, I mean, I'm not going to bring it up, but that just goes to show, like, when you think these men are DL, they most likely are. That was just something I thought was interesting that I should bring to you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.